People.
Right here, because I don't know what I'm doing,
It's like little movies.
well, no, what? These are writing, technology stuff.
I. Just.
Oh, yeah. Just be sure that it was captioned on 11 or 17. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's right, it was on.
I started it. It's already up. See, sevens. There it comes.
There it is, show me. No.
What do we actually ask them to understand?
That's I was saying, you should see. Should have heard you look.
Let me know when you're ready.
I am. I think I got all of you in the picture, so.
Okay.
Well, good.
Call this meeting. At 6:03. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
you. Roll call, please, Lori.
Thank you. Sherry Simmons,
Present.
Patty Burns,
Here.
Evan King,
Here.
Zach Gainer,
Here.
Matt Lyman,
Present.
and Joanna Para.
We'll see her.
Are here virtually.
There you are. Thank you. And we don't have an ex officio tonight. Your ex officio turned in his council resignation because of his job, so.
Okay. We'll move on to approval of the minutes of December 8th. You may get a chance to review those.
I did and I approve, or I make the motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
I don't know that your mic is on.
I'll talk to my people about that. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting notes as provided from our previous meeting.
I will second that. No, it's on.
Is it pulled up towards you?
Well,
Just yell.
I will second that.
Thank you.
Now I gotta speak up.
Okay, I have a first by Matt, a second by Evan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Is there any public comment?
I didn't receive anything prior to the meeting, so.
Okay. We'll move on to unfinished business applicants to fill the vacant parks and rec vacancy. Are there any updates?
I sent you guys all an email. I'm not sure if everybody got a chance to see it, but Sue did withdraw her application. She had some other things come up that she was concerned about, so.
Okay. All right, and Rosado is not here.
But she can still be considered because she has not
Yes,
withdrawn.
but she's not here to interview.
Correct.
So, Mr. Van Dyke, please come forward. State your name and Is it city that you live or
Just if you're,
if you're
Plains
a
resident.
North Plains resident or not?
I am Brian Van Dyke and I am a North Plains resident.
Okay, you feel free to have a seat there.
This is casual,
Yeah.
informal.
So did everybody get a chance to review his application? Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Van Dyke, thanks for being here. What does your background look like? Like what excites you about Park and Rec and does that connect to your background to being here?
So I have over 30 years of construction and background in that, and I've also got 6 years of a facilities director for school districts. My last 6 years of my construction business was doing with divisions and of course, having to deal with putting in parks as well as all of the infrastructure for that. I understand the cost of challenges and the tribunals of trying to get those in place and make everybody happy. As well, now with the last 6 years of being within a school district as a facilities director, I know the needs for how the cohesion of the family matters is done through play and within a place where families can be together and can join.
I love your experience. I think we could use that.
I hope I can be.
I know I could use it.
Anybody else have any questions?
What do you think is the biggest need for North Plains when it comes to parks? Having been around the community, what would, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you see done first? What would you like to try to accomplish first?
Areas for families to get together more than where we're at now. We watched the loss of Purple Park, which is close to my house. Which was at that point in time when I first moved here in 2014 was a major point for our community to gather. Now it is a dog park, which now our people are now traveling from that portion of town into other portions of town to find parks. The biggest need for any community and for any family cohesion is a place to play, to get together with families, to grow and get to know your neighbors. When we remove them from central areas within our districts, that gets lost in that area where our children don't play together. I think that in the city of North Plains, we need to find those smaller areas that we can, if we can. I mean, it's fiscally responsible for us. Because I know the costs, I understand, I just put in $200,000-$300,000 playground structures in school districts in the last 2 years. I know the cost of those, but also the wear and tear. I also know that what we need to do, but I also understand that when you put that in, the family cohesion gets better, the community cohesion gets better. So if you want me to ask you where I really want to start, I don't know exactly in North Plains, but I can see the need for our communities to play together. Most of our parks are in the newer districts. Our older districts are failing behind.
Well said. Anything else? Don't be shy.
Please don't check.
What school district are you coming out of?
I started at Gaston School District and
Mhm.
I worked in Gresham and Centennial School District.
I just will give you a little bit of information that we are, at least the Parks Board currently is working forward. Hopefully, council will work with us to, I don't know if you know where Louis Wentz Park is. To put some playground equipment in there and maybe a structure. So things are beginning to hopefully move in that direction. So that there is something over on that side of town. Because we know that there's a need.
Yeah, and I just worked with one of our schools within my district, just worked with Play It Forward. Which was able to give us a nice grant to help, a school district. I don't know how they are with that, but I've dealt with grants through the school district and I'm more than willing to work with those, try and see if I can reach out to find money to help fund some of those more expensive projects or even the smaller projects.
Well, that would be welcome tell. Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion or a recommendation, I guess?
Yes, you're making a recommendation to council for them to approve his amendment.
I'd like to make a recommendation to council to approve Mr. Van Dyke as a member of the Park and Rec Board.
No, I didn't hear from the second person, I believe said,
So
so I support it,
you're a second?
yeah, I was second.
Okay, all right. So I have a first by Matt, a second by Zach. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So, it'll be on,
Next Tuesday's agenda, for them to approve. And they probably would appreciate if you could introduce yourself at the meeting. It's not a requirement necessarily, but it is, because you haven't been on a board or commission before, they would like to kind of at least
Oh, I deal with boards all the time.
put a face with the names. So, that will be at 7 o'clock Tuesday because of the Monday holiday.
That's the
20th.
The 20th.
Yes.
I will be there.
And yes, and you're welcome to ask questions of these guys and of council during both meetings anytime you like it, so.
Well, I hope I can be of service to the city of North Plains and to the council.
thank you so much. We appreciate it.
No problem, thank you. You.
All right. Next is the feasibility study discussion. Is there an update on that? Because we had our discussion.
Chair Simmons, not really. I mean, I think kind of what I have is just a linear idea of what a scope of work needs to be for a consultant. And I can run that by you all and see if there's any bells and whistles in there you want to, add. That sort of thing. But there's really kind of basically two major components to this. Number one is figuring out, there's supply and demand, right? Regarding anything. So on the supply side of things, is the site itself is, having a planner, engineer, individual go through and just physically take a look at the property and then identify what could even go on there in terms of a different or new facility. And then based on what that would be, number one, just study the site. Number two, come up with 3 options, hopefully, for what could physically fit. Maybe it's a playground or at least identify what size of facility might even work there. And then come up with 2 or 3, hopefully 3 options for that, versions of that, or maybe another idea for what could fit on it. And then there's the demand side of things. There's go and have a public meeting at the senior center, probably, to present all this information. There's the site, there's also how it's currently being utilized, it's underutilized. We've taken a look at the site and what the opportunities are for its size, utilities, what have you, parking issues. And then 2 or 3 ideas are presented and people kind of talk about it. And then based on what we hear there, we go out with what usually isn't an expensive thing. And that's just kind of like a community online poll citywide, push it on social media, on the website. Please weigh in on the alternatives that have been identified. To the study process were discussed identified and discussed at an open house. And then kind of see what our results are, and based on that, back to you all and see how you would like to package some kind of recommendation to city council. So it's kind of that 3-step process.
Okay, question, do we need approval from city council to move forward with just the engineering part?
I mean, not really. The way I would suggest doing this is during city manager report, I would say Parks and Rec board is ready to move forward with some kind of consideration for what else, or how to differently use or enhance the use of the park. And it will involve some kind of expenditure for for, you know, kind of a due diligence of the site, and then what might be considered and consistent with the Brooks capital plan that we have. And, you know, we can come up with a cost estimate for what that would be, you know, we keep it not terribly expensive. And so long as we're in the 10,000 and below category, that's just something we can casually get different bids on costs to do that. And that can be staff,
Okay, okay.
basically. So now if you want to build something that would, you know, that dollar figure would be a different story.
Sure.
So, but just in terms of doing some feasibility due diligence, that's not necessary. That's, council should hear, that's what the plan is, but that isn't an expenditure that council has thought.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions?
I guess, how long will this process take before it lands back on our table? That's something, a lot of steps on a red tape on a process, you know, I mean,
No.
what's our timeline?
Well, it's a feasibility study, so, you know, I think what I would do is I would give some kind of, whoever the consultant is, I would give them 4 to 6 weeks to put together a report on, they take a look at the property and they kind of identify. You know, 4 to 6 weeks to kind of put together a document, not a long one, that just kind of goes over what's the property, issues and opportunities for it, and what could even possibly work. And then after that, well, you all get to review that at your, you know, one of your monthly meetings, but then give it 4 more weeks for starting with a community workshop, and then a poll that would follow up over the course of 2 or 3 weeks online and pushing it. So that's how I would express it. I mean, it's just a feasibility study and a bit of not expensive community outreach.
You think it could be done in a couple of months then?
2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months. Yeah, I would say so. This is not a difficult. The most time intensive thing, honestly, would just simply be bandwidth for whoever does it to kind of go from kickoff to we get a report on the problem. And like I said, 4 to 6 weeks on that, but should be on the generous side of things.
Great. Great. So what do you need from us to do that?
Well, I mean, did that general outline of what happens sound okay? Did you have questions about it? Was anything missing? I think it's just kind of, let's be certain about what the property entails and what we fit there, so that we aren't going out to the public with something that is a non-starter. I mean, it has some constraints. So we want to be sober about those constraints. But we do
How
want,
many square feet that park is?
I off the top of my head.
I can look it up while you guys are talking.
I had that information previously, right?
It's oddly sized or oddly shaped, so, you know, those will. So was there anything missing, obviously, to you?
I think so. I mean, it sounds pretty straightforward. And they'll be able to tell us. Or would we get that information from a survey, age appropriate play equipment? Would
Well,
we get that from the survey?
Yeah, I think you can, I think once you, yes, I think a survey can kind of help finesse what the community's thinking more broadly. But that neighborhood meeting, I think, is where you kind of get that in person, particularly because it's gonna be people who are in the neighborhood, not too far away, kind
Right,
of weighing in directly because that's their neighborhood. And they really know what's missing, what's there, and what's not. Probably more than maybe new residents in other parts of town. So that's how I would handle that, I guess.
okay.
But the poll could really maybe talk about some ideas more specifically.
Is there additional questions down there?
Zach was just asking me, just to clarify which one we're talking about.
On the park, Louis
Yeah,
Wentz.
yeah.
Mhm. Behind the post office. Okay. Well, are we all in agreement then?
forward on this?
To move forward,
I motion
Yes.
to move forward on this.
no, we need a
Just need
consensus,
consensus.
just need consensus.
I wanna hold it.
Yeah, well, one thing I would just add is that I think for this, what we also want to do is we'll put forward information about what the cost would be for each of these different ideas in terms of capital cost, and then kind of some discussion or idea about what kind of what the dimensions of maintenance of whatever it is. It might not be major, but we should mention that so that we're looking at it from capital to maintenance to.
Yeah, great.
It's a fifth of an acre, 0.20 acres.
That's a fifth of an acre, yeah,
It's
it's the size of my lot.
So it's like 20,000 square, no, sorry, 10,000 square, 8,000 square. Acres.
Yeah.
So it's like, give or take, a
Uh,
little smaller.
All right. On to new business. Elect a chair for 2026. Oh, sorry,
Okay, can I ask one more question? real quick?
yes,
Is it possible as well, outside of equipment, to see what a potential water thing would be? If they would be like a splash pad or like that, just over there?
I think the process during that first part, kind of identifying what could be there and
Yeah.
maybe some options for, because it's not going to afford a lot of new.
For sure.
So we would have, it would have to be size appropriately scaled, but that thing.
Sure.
Would we be able to give some recommendations for them to maybe look into, or would it just be better just to have them look at with fresh eye?
I think the actual new use, I think, really needs to be up to the community. I mean, they can come in fairly certainly and provide us effectively findings of fact for what, here's the site, here's its dimensions, here's its size. Here's where you could realistically do something on the property, and its constraints are this, so you're looking at A, B, C, D, or whatever. So yeah, come up with, ideas.
so it's at that meeting that the ideas would come.
One way we could do this is they get done with their report, just talking about the site and its opportunities and constraints regarding different size things. And it could be scoped that they come and talk to you about it. And then that's when you ask them, so what are we talking about here regarding what might fit there? And you could have that dialogue, and then based on that, then a couple weeks later, it could be the community meeting where they've heard from you about what might, that thing that might fit as options might, you bring your ideas for what the options might be, given what they find. And then they incorporate that into what they do with the community meeting based on what they heard.
I like that, personally. Yeah. Now we're kind of presenting options, and the options are all over the board, so at least kind of. There when it got in school.
But no, generally speaking, the ideas for what the community needs, that's your charge.
Okay. Everybody's questions answered? Good, okay. Now new business. Elect a chair and, chair first and then the vice chair.
So you guys can nominate whoever you want. If they agree to accept the nomination, then you're fine, and you ask for any other nominations, there might be more than one. If you nominate someone and they don't want to be considered, then they are to say, no, thank you, politely. And then you take a vote. This is for, do they have term limits? I mean, for chair, then here.
I think they said it here.
Year.
Well, I mean, standard is a year for it.
I mean, it'll be, because you'll vote again in January, you'll decide again in January. Every.
Yeah.
So we said no more than 2 times in a row, if I remember correctly.
No more than, not even.
I know EDC is that way, but I don't know if it's in you guys' charter for, in you guys'
I remember it being once, only one. You can't be it 2 times in a row.
I thought it was, you could only be 2 times in a row.
Well, we can figure that out. I mean, we haven't figured that out.
It's too long, I don't exactly remember, I could have sworn it's only 2 times.
Are there any nominations? Can I make a nomination?
Yeah.
I nominate Patty Burns as chair.
Is there a second or a separate nomination?
I would second Patty Burns as chair. Sorry, no, let me say that loud. I would second Patty Burns as chair, forgetting that my microphone isn't working.
Okay, after Jerry, then you asked if there's no.
Any other nominations? No, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried.
You didn't
There's
say
one.
you didn't want them. I didn't know it's gonna go so quick.
Right now.
Okay, so that was unanimous. Ms. Burns.
Do I go forward with the vice chair or does she take over?
She should take over, but you can, if you're comfortable doing it and she's not, you can add. I mean, she's
Do you want me to?
kind of knows how this process
Just
goes.
finish this.
I'll
meeting.
just finish this meeting out.
Okay, that's up to you too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so vice chair. Are there any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate. Tyler Brightford.
Yeah, there's that, for sure.
I nominate Sherry Simmons. As vice chair.
I would happily decline.
Okay, you can do that.
Question, how long can a person be in a position? So like vice president,
Well, that's what we were just talking about. I didn't think there was a limit for you guys, but I
I
have a
specifically remember us making a limit, I just couldn't remember a number of times.
But I believe that's I believe that's on our bylaws.
Yes, exactly.
That
Those were
are not approved.
Oh, they haven't been.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm.
Yeah.
Can I nominate Ms. Potter again?
You can nominate her.
Okay.
Right, sorry,
Yeah,
just Patty. Okay. Sherry said no. Patty said yes.
Is there a-
That's up throw it up in the party.
Oh. I didn't know if she wanted.
did she hear you?
I'm sorry, did you guys need? Can you repeat what you just said?
I said I was throwing out your name to see if you'd want to do it again.
Oh, I want to be part of the board still, but I would kindly decline being chair. I do want to be more hands-on on the board and give that time and attention to the coming year, be more hands-on, but not as chair or co-chair or vice chair.
Okay, then could I nominate Mr. King?
Why do I keep leaning in? Fine,
You're good with that?
yeah,
I second the motion.
keep leaning into my microphone, it's not working.
That's okay. Okay, so Zach nominates Evan King. And Evan says, okay, and is there a second?
That's not what it is.
I seconded.
Oh,
Sherry seconds.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations to you both.
That wasn't too big though.
All right, we'll move on to board and staff comments. Is there anything from the foundation
We have not had our meeting yet this month. It got moved to the 22nd. And I don't think we had a meeting in December. So there is no new updates for that.
Okay, thank you. And the pack doesn't start until January this month.
The 22nd will be our first meeting for the UGB.
On the 22nd.
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah.
same date.
At least that's what on my calendar, perhaps my calendar's wrong. It wouldn't be the first time, but
Starts at 4 o'clock.
Okay, yours are earlier, okay. Okay, okay, great,
yeah, the notes were received and grateful for that.
okay. Perfect. Anything from staff?
I've got a couple of updates. First of all, the bathrooms are finally open, but we only have one of them open right now. Even though both of them are repaired and we have dryers, in both of them. We're just kind of seeing what the security is gonna look like and if there's gonna be any future vandalism. And so we're not gonna open both of them at the same time. So just kind of see how things play out. We also have a brand new security camera. We were having some issues getting security cameras to work with our network, and so we just went with a completely different one. That's one of the reasons why it took so long, because we wanted to make sure we had some type of security in place. And you'll see, we have a sign on the pole over here, and you'll see the security camera up as well. So with that, we also put up winter hours and it got more permanent signage that's going to be coming that will show what our hours are going to be. Right now, they're 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the winter, and come around March or so, we'll kind of do the extended hours from probably about 7 a.m. to 8 or 9 p.m. And we'll have kind of plaques that say that as well. The other news, park news would be more of for Jesse Mays, just for you to be aware. I've been looking into quotes for fixing the roof, and surprisingly, between me and Cody, we're looking at different options. We have called at least 10 different roofing companies and we've only received 2 quotes out of those companies. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with that. Not exactly sure why there has been so many either no responses or declines. I have a feeling that it has something to do with, there's a lot of, even though it's a composite roof, this is more considered a commercial building, and so we can't get residential quotes as easily. I really could not tell you at this point, but we're still reaching out. So I have no clue when the roof will be fixed, but I know we need to get that stained. I'm staring right at it right now. So that's one of the things that we're working on. But if there's any other questions about park business, I am open for any questions.
Did you notice that the 2 Jesse May signs are all cracked?
No, I did not. Which ones are they? The new ones or the old ones?
The new ones, the colored ones.
I am going to write that down.
I mean, looking straight at it, you might not be able to see it, but as you're walking by, you can see all the cracks. I don't know if someone went up and kicked them or threw balls at them. What happened?
Okay, we can take a better look at that. Any other questions for me or comments?
West Coast Gutter here in town also does roofs. I'm not sure if they got back to you, but
They were one of the bids that I had received.
good. I just texted Jason as well. Okay, well,
Yeah, I got a bid for both the composite and a metal. I
outstanding.
think their specialty is more metal.
They'll do both.
Are they higher than what you expected?
One of them was.
So one's promising.
We'll see.
It's got a brand, not sure.
We'll see.
As we look into getting the roof fixed, are we looking to perhaps doing some updates inside here as well, kitchen? With these stains, that kind of thing as well?
No, because I think there's gonna be some underlying issues with what's above these ceiling tiles.
Okay.
We don't know exactly where those leaks are coming from because it's not located specifically right there. It's like kind of coming down in one location. That's just where we see it.
Right.
So there's probably gonna be some other additional work up there besides the roof. There's gonna be some
Sure,
work up there. Yeah,
that's great. Love to hear.
wasn't expecting that so soon.
Are those fresh leaks?
I don't even know if that's been cleaned up since the last time. And so I was making some notes. I was making some notes to make sure that we get that cleaned up for the next meeting.
That's,
Quite a,
it's more because Nick and I cleaned up what you could see in where the screen is, the picture from the screen, we had wiped it clean. So it's just to the weakness. Yeah.
It kind of looks like Red Mountain.
Are there gutters on this building?
I believe so.
Edge.
But I don't think that's came from the gutters.
okay. Anything else?
Yes. Forward share sentence. At the last city council meeting, city council approved by a vote of 4-1, the Parks and Recreation Programs and Communications Supervisor job description.
Oh.
So what that means is that, as we package a kind of cover sheet description to get out there and market the job, we'll be recruiting for that very soon. And so I guess what I would say is I would encourage you at your next meeting next month to have on the agenda, I'll start talking hopes and dreams for what a parks program might be here. The scope of the job as it was approved was pretty broad so that we can cast a wide net for a combination of skills and experience to do a variety of things. It'll be a while before somebody is fully busy year-round, every single day of the week, every single hour, doing parks programming for the city. So the job is actually written a lot like this type of a job at other smaller communities where somebody is spending part of their time, weekly, daily, doing parks programming. So working on different programs, different activities that people do, working with volunteers or paid people to teach them, organize, kind of getting information about attendance, fees, all that kind of stuff. But then with this type of position in other small cities, when this type of position is hired, the person is doing a lot of social media promotion and scheduling of these things and scheduling the venues for these things that the city has. And so, as we've written the job, this person would come in and with social media and calendaring and scheduling actually help the city with broader communication needs, like getting other stuff besides just Parks and Rec out on social media. But they would certainly use promotion and newsletter and bulletins and that sort of thing to promote Parks and
So is this
Recreation.
person gonna take Reese's place?
This person would indeed start doing the vast majority of what Trees has been doing in terms of getting. We will still need somebody to help us with a limited amount of external communication needs, like press releases, press relations, getting information, working with the Oregonian or the Hillsborough Times with status updates on things. You might want to be at the city council meeting, so if this is important, we're gonna discuss this and all that stuff. And then just communication strategy, nature of message, but getting it online, getting it in the newsletter, writing the newsletter articles, all that more would be for this person. And then the other thing this person would be in charge of, because they're already kind of running the calendar for activities, they would take on more of the scheduling and running the business of rentals of this and will we get somebody that can do all of that? I don't know. We'll see what we get, but that's what the job description is. And the other thing I would say is that before she left, former city councilor Michelle McCall Wallace kind of drafted just a sketch of what fledgling beginning parks recreation program might look like that was heavily volunteer, instructor driven, heavily volunteer driven. And so I wanna, when she's in town, I wanna visit with her with that and get that in my hands so that we can start talking about, before we have a lot of people taking classes and paying for them and we can fully pay for instructors, what should a starting volunteer driven program look like? Or what could it look like? So that's part of future meetings of this month.
Are they kind of is it a 50-50 position? Or is it like 70-30 or?
Honestly, I think the answer to that question is in part seasonal. You know, I mean, spring and summertime can be in full swing with events. I mean, this person would be working with the NPEA on, you know, coordinating on messaging and things like that, event coordination. So, hypothetically 50-50, but it would just depend. Some months it's gonna be a lot of activities. And then working with you all, they'll come to these meetings. And do well.
Okay, thank you. It's great news. So we're hoping they'll be on maybe by March.
Best of circumstances,
Yeah.
end of March, yeah, you know.
All right. Well, does anybody have anything else? Karen?
I'm certainly looking forward to what kind of programs they can put together in the community. And start to use these parks and these fields and. You know, if you go over in Brent Hill right now, they're starting to build out the playground and putting on a bigger park. They've already poured the asphalt out for the futsal pickleball area that's going on out there. So it's worth going to take a look and kind of seeing what we've dreamed up here come to real life.
Yeah, I drove by the futsal just the other day. It's smaller than I thought it would be, but it's still,
Yeah, it's a decent sized space. Like,
yeah.
you know, certainly for futsal and depending on your paint job, you could put 3 pickleball courts in there.
And then the number 4 park, they've got playground equipment up there. Which is nice, so they're moving along on that. Don't know how the little amphitheater part is gonna go. Unsure how that's supposed to look. It's going this way or this way. And I think, is there a bathroom there? There's,
Phase 4, yeah, phase 4.
Phase 4 has a bathroom.
Yeah, and I need to talk with their designer about some things that we've learned with our restroom here that we might implement there as well. Like, for example, we're gonna put dryers in there instead of paper towel dispensers, trying to eliminate a lot of the trash.
Yeah, no garbage cans.
Who's responsible for that? Just out of curiosity, for that, the HOA or is that city? For like,
Way that the agreement, from my understanding, is the city is going to be taking care of the bathroom, but the HOA is taking care of everything else.
so like if it gets destroyed, like this one,
Yeah,
the HOA is responsible.
nope, if it gets destroyed, the city will be responsible the way that the agreement was written. So that's why I'd be bringing them lessons learned from this document.
Sure.
Oh, I do have one more question, about the charge, adding the charge to the application for the pavilion. For, cleanup, yeah, for the rentals. Did that go forward? It's not.
We haven't moved it forward with city council. It would be an update to the fee schedule, so but that hasn't come before then yet.
Yeah, okay, I did write it in
In your report,
my report. Yes,
it hasn't been taken up.
okay,
And actually, speaking of not taken up, one more thing. So to answer your question, Vice Chair King, it is in the new bylaws that you've written that the chair cannot serve more than 2 consecutive terms as chair, so for 2 years. So if somebody else needs to step in after 2 years, but then the person who took a break for a year can be chair again if they're still on.
Is that just chair or vice chair?
Just chair.
Okay.
just chair.
No.
So, but your bylaws have actually not yet been adopted by city council. And I was just visiting with Lori about it because I could not, for the life of me, remember why that was. And it was typos and errors just in the document. So Lori went through and cleaned it up, and we're gonna get it in front of council at the best next meeting opportunity.
Some of you saying this year doesn't count.
Up to you to live by the bylaws you've written, but not yet adopted.
Right. All right. Anybody, think anything else? All right, well, thank you for coming. Hopefully we'll see you here soon. And I'll adjourn the meeting. At 6:47.
Bye. Have a good evening, everyone.